All right. Talk number, I don't know. I'm going to stop saying the talk number because you know I'm going to keep track, especially if I start taking breaks. Sorry, I'm moving some stuff. All right. My pen. Always need the pen. All right. Really busy. I have an interview at 4. I got messaged by a headhunter on LinkedIn. Gonna see what that's about. Not closing any doors until I think they're dumb. Just had a really good weekend. Mom came to town and we explored an area that ideally I would want to move to if I stay here for a while. It seemed like a very popular part of town. The rent is very expensive though, so obviously I would need a solid income to live down there, but food for thought of what my life could be like. But whenever I was down there, it was really cool because I got like excited. I'm like, oh, this is somewhere that I think would be really cool to live. Because there's so many people out and about where it just felt, and that's what I want. Like I was talking to her about how I want the busyness and the buzz of New York City, but like down here for right now until maybe it's definitely a thought of me trying, or the idea of me moving to New York City after I have figured out what profession I want to do, and just you need money to move that city. So had a great time though. So I always get these feelings whenever I see family, whether it was the beach, Portugal, like just seeing a brother, just seeing a parent, mom, dad. Like I just feel like it just sucks. I hate that. One of the worst things about me is I hate saying goodbyes. But it's like, oh, like I'm somewhere new, kind of by myself. I'm speaking about how I'm really excited about how I can reinvent myself, but I also want to reinvent myself with like, I don't know, with and around the people I love. But right now it's not a possibility. And I think that like what I want, like I want to experience like a city. So that's Charlotte for right now. Like I think right now I'm doing something that I'm really proud of, like kind of moving away from home, moving away from most family. I have a bit of a support system here as with Autumn and her parents, but I mean, I don't know. Definitely I'm tired, so that it might seem like this is a bit fragmented. So I apologize for that. But I mean, I don't know. It's like the weirdest feeling. Because I don't know if it's the solidarity, I don't know. I'm trying to pick my brain for the words that I could even use to describe the feeling of like whenever family does leave, and like the feeling I had after Portugal, the feeling I had after the beach, the feeling I had like today whenever I said goodbye to mom. It's just like, it's such, I never understood whenever my mom saw her family, and whenever she would cry whenever she said goodbye to some of them. I'll never understand it. I remember standing on the porch or the front little steps at my grandpa's and looking down, and she's hugging them and crying. I never say my goodbyes, but I'm always just in there. I'm like, huh. But now I get it. And I talked about me being a type of more open with my emotions and definitely not shutting those down in any capacity. But I mean, I get it. I mean, it's definitely, they're some of the people who I want to experience life with the most. And I think that's why I just taken a note where I'm 22 now. I get myself to 25. I kind of see where I have myself at. Maybe I move back north and I get myself enough time to really figure out my life down here and develop as a human. But if I'm not happy, well, you know, stuff is you know, because the last thing I want is something just to change and then that time is gone. And I wouldn't regret it, because I think regret's a really slippery slope when it comes to your mental, the way your thought process happens. I think the emotion of regret, I don't like it. I think it can be a very slippery slope of you, some connotations that you can add to certain feelings that don't really apply, but you think they do because you regret it. But I don't. So like, not that I would regret not moving up sooner or even leaving, but definitely take it as a lesson where just write it down. Like, one of my go-to jokes right now, one of my bits, like, someone will say something, I'll be like, all right, I'll just like write it down in my palm, like, all right, I noted that, you know, just like taking everything day by day. But very busy week for me. I'm exhausted. I didn't really sleep well this weekend. But again, it's like so worth to have like a couple days of kind of overtiredness, and even longer period. Like, I don't think I'd ever sacrifice, like, yeah, it's the last year of track and field, blah, 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 who cares? But like, at this point, I just like miss my family. I just do. Where I don't know, like, there's gotta be like, I couldn't imagine if I didn't have my cell phone and not being able to text and even call. Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, I feel like there would be such a disconnect where I'd be like, all right, I just wouldn't have left if it was 20, I don't know when cell phones were created. That's on me. It's on me. I know it was like around when I was a kid, like 2000s. I know it wasn't before that. I know they had like the ones on the wall. But I mean, like, I don't know. But Aunt Heather always said to me about, she loved being home in Albany so much that whenever she traveled back, she would get really in her head and really emotional, and Uncle Bill would always be like, you just give it 2 days and you'll be fine. And that's kind of what I've seen for myself as well. Like, I just gotta give it time. But I feel like these emotions that you have during certain events, whether you, like I talked about being inspired last week, and like even this, like, I don't like to sit on these emotions. I feel like there's got to be a way to act on them. But acting in what capacity? Like, in what avenue can I even act on these? Is it just me decide I don't want to be down here and I want to be closer to family, where I can make weekend trips and quicker trips that aren't going to break my already low bank? You know, so it's just all these little, these things that I'm just thinking about, especially today. But I mean, just day by day, you know. But then I was also like, oh, I saw that time, and I saw that little part of, it's called South End, for anyone who wants to Google it. South End of Charlotte. And it was like a really cool buzzing area of like this, probably like, I would say, I don't know, I'm not, like, maybe like 6 blocks down and 2 wide. And there's this little square that was like, there's a train going through it. But they built this entire little thing. There's just like apartments everywhere around it. But there's open live music. There's a whole bunch of little shops, like, in an area where Autumn has even told me about how a lot of people just move there after college. But rent's expensive. Like, even to split it, it's like $1,500 if I had a roommate. Like, if I had someone in the apartment with me. So it's just like taking note, and I never want to be a person to chase money, because I don't think I've ever been like that. I like nice things, but they're not needed. Because just like anything else, you get so excited to get it, and then after a while, it's just like the thing you had before. Like, maybe a time more reliable, and I'm kind of referring to a car. Like, I remember I was so excited to finally, like, drive the Civic, because there was so many just back and forths, and it just took a while to get it, just because of the legal stuff, which was no one's fault. It just took a while, and I was so excited for it to finally be mine, and me just take it. And then, yeah, for a week it was sick, right? And then after that, a mode of transportation to get me from point A to point B. Where I remember I was thinking even this weekend, as a broke 22-year-old, I can't imagine myself buying something like a Rolex. Because the Ryder Cup was this weekend. If you don't know, it's basically like the World Cup of golf. It's every 2 years, Europe versus United States, blah. But they're sponsored by Rolex, and the Rolex thing ad kept on popping up, and I'm like, huh. You know, and not that I ever even thought, but I mean, like, there's just gotta be a way. I don't know. I mean, we're in America. It's like, it's one of the countries where, like, you make your own money and you don't help anyone else. As in, like, I think in other countries, and some of the Nordic countries, like, all right, like, you get taxed heavily as you're higher. I don't really know. I think that gets into politics, but I'm just, like, trying to think of, like, I don't know. It's just, like, an interesting little, very, very developmental brain here. Don't take anything I say with too much grain of salt. But I definitely want to get this in today because I didn't do it Friday. Because I was exhausted Friday. Did I do it Friday? I don't know. I had to have. No, that was 2 weeks ago. I don't know. But do it as I please. All right.